Hello students, I am Satyaprakash. Welcome to Cars Physics. This is my lecture number 15 on the chapter number 2, electric potential and capacitance. Okay. In lecture 14, we have discussed in brief on capacitance of spherical conductors. Okay. So in previous lecture we have discussed capacitance of a spherical conductor. So this is a spherical conductor of radius r. Okay. Initial, just we are discussing the previous concept to start this lecture. Okay. So initial charge on the conductor is 0. So potential, let V1 is potential of the conductor is 0. Okay. Now charge is given to the conductor, and as we know, if charge is given to the conductor, the charge is distributed on the surface of conductor. Let let positive charge is given to the conductor. Okay. If we give now more and more charge to the conductor, as we know, to transfer charge, work is done. Okay. To transfer charge, work is done. Suppose now I do supply a charge of dq to the conductor. Since charge is given to the conductor, some charge is given to the conductor has electric field. So to transfer charge, work must be done because this is positive charge. The conductor is positively charged. When this charge is transferred to the surface of conductor, then due to presence of electric field, this charge will get repelled, and against repelling force we have to take the charge, means by applying external force, applying external agency, we have to transfer the charge to the surface of conductor. So gradually more and more charge given to the conductor, and whole charge is distributed on the surface of conductor. Thus now let total charge on the conductor, this is initial charge and initial potential, and finally charge on the conductor is q, and let potential V2, let V2 is V. Okay. Initial potential is 0, and now finally total charge is q and potential becomes V. So what do we mean by capacitance or capacity? Capacity or capacitance of a conductor is the ability to hold charge. Okay. Capacitance means capacity to hold charge or ability to hold charge. Okay. Thus now the conductor holds some charge. Again we know potential is the charged condition or electrical condition of a body. If charge is q, then potential is V. So initial potential is 0, final potential is V, then potential difference is V2 minus V1, means V minus 0, so potential difference is V. So charge is given to the conductor Q and potential is now V, which is actually potential difference. Okay. Initial potential is 0, final potential is V, so potential difference is V minus 0 V. So V is potential, we do say like that, but practically this is potential difference. So as we know, capacitance of a conductor is defined as amount of charge required per unit rise in potential. Okay. So this is actually capacitance of a conductor is amount of charge required to produce unit potential difference. So in place of V, the practical thought is V is potential difference. Okay. So capacitance of a conductor, as we have discussed, capacitance of a conductor is independent of charge and independent of potential or potential difference. Capacitance of a conductor is independent of charge and independent of potential difference. These concepts we have already discussed in previous lecture. Okay. Then, if the conductor is charged, okay, the conductor is charged and charge resides on the surface of conductor, then there must be electric field all around the conductor symmetrically. Okay, this is the presence of electric field all around the conductor. Okay, so where there is electric field, this is our previous concept on electric charge and electric field. Where there is electric field, range of electric field is infinity, and electric field is present all around the conductor. Where there is electric field, our concept is there is energy, there is momentum, okay, etc. Where there is electric field, there is energy and there is momentum. Means now energy of capacitor. So just think, what is definition of capacitor? What is definition of capacitor? Capacitor is an electric device which stores charge in the form of electric energy. Capacitor is an electric device which stores charge in the form of electric energy. Of course, we may say in the form of electric potential energy by virtue of charge in the electric field, means by virtue of position of charge in the electric field, the charges have electric potential energy. So capacitor stores charge in the form of electric potential energy. Now all these charges on the surface of conductor are in the electric field. So by virtue of their position in the electric field, these charges have potential energy, means electric potential energy. So capacitor stores charge in the form of electric potential energy. Okay, this electric field is extended up to infinity in all directions. So the charge given to the capacitor resides in the electric field, and they have energy, electric energy, and electric field means electric energy is spread in all directions up to infinity. So this energy, in this case, this energy is not confined or bounded. The energy is spreading in all directions. So this energy is not confined or not bounded. This energy is spreading, means spreads in all directions up to infinity. Okay, but why do we use capacitor? What is use of capacitor? We have already discussed. Why do we use capacitor? Capacitor is an electric device which stores charge, but practically capacitor stores energy. Capacitor stores energy, and the use of capacitor in various electrical and electronic instruments, the basic use of capacitor is to start an instrument. Okay, for example, as we have discussed, we have to just switch on the fan, and the fan instantly attains its speed. So to start a fan, any rotor or electric motor, DC motor and cooler, etc. So in the beginning, means while starting the machines or instruments, large amount of energy is required, and also we may say large amount of current is required, which can't be done. So large amount of current, supply of large amount of current by the help of battery or cell. Why? Because battery or cell stores energy gradually and releases energy gradually. Step by step releases energy. But capacitor stores energy and releases at once. Capacitor stores energy and releases at once. So this is use of capacitor. As we know, at the beginning, means while starting the instrument, a large amount of energy or large amount of current is required, which can be done if the energy is released quickly or at once. That is done by capacitor. Okay, so this energy is not bounded. This energy spreads in all directions up to infinity. This is not bounded energy. Okay, then now our discussion in this class, our first discussion is principle of parallel plate capacitors. Principle of parallel plate capacitors. Okay, very good concept, and this capacitor, parallel plate capacitor, is for all practical purpose. Okay, as we know, capacitance is also called as condenser. Capacitor is also called as condenser. The ancient name of capacitor is condenser. Okay, why it is named as condenser? Okay, it stores large amount. See, capacitor is a device which stores large amount of energy in a small area. Small region, you may write, in a small region. Capacitor stores large amount of energy in a small region, for which it is called as condenser. It stores large amount of energy but uses a small space, region or space. Okay, so this is a named condenser which satisfies the condition. It stores a large amount of energy using a small space or using a small region. Okay, see, suppose we do take a metallic plate. Let's think like this. Finally, I will write the principle. Just you think. Let's take a metallic plate. You may take a rectangular plate. Length is L, breadth is B. Or you may take a square plate. Each side is L. Or you may take a circular plate of radius R. Whatever you may take. Let's just take a metallic plate. See, suppose this is a metallic plate. This is a metallic plate. Okay. So this is the surface area. Now I am keeping the plate like this. Then what you see? It appears as a straight line, but practically this is the surface area. This is the surface area. So if we put the surface area like this, you will see the whole surface. I am putting the surface area, means plane of surface area is perpendicular to this whiteboard. Plane of surface area is perpendicular to this whiteboard. The surface area may be circular, may be rectangular, or may be square shaped, whatever may be. So this is the plate. May be circle, or may be square, or may be rectangle. This is the plate. Okay. Thickness is very small. We do keep the plate like this. This is a metallic plate. Okay. Now, initially, charge on the plate is 0. Charge on the plate is 0 means the plate is uncharged or neutral, and potential is also 0. Charge 0, potential 0, because potential is electrical condition of a charged body. Okay. Let now charge is given to the metallic plate. So as you know, metal means conductor which contains a high number density of free electrons. We have discussed all these concepts. So metal contains a high number density of free electrons. Okay. If charge is given to the metal, then total charge will get distributed on the both sides of the surface. Okay, as we have discussed, if this is a metal plate, charge is given to this metal plate, then charge will be distributed on both sides of the plate. Okay, let total charge given to the metallic plate is Q, let plus Q. Okay, total charge is Q. Now potential of the plate is let V1. Okay, let's take some numerical values. Let charge given, let 2000 coulomb, and potential developed on a metallic plate, let 200 volt. Okay, let charge given 200 coulomb and potential is 200 volt. Now capacitance of this metallic plate is Q by V1, let this is C1, and here Q is 2000 coulomb and potential is 200, so capacitance is 10 farad. Charge given to the metal plate is 2000 coulomb, potential developed is 200 volt, and capacitance of the metallic plate is 10 farad. So the charges are in the electric field. So now this plate has potential electric energy. Okay, so what we have discussed, I am erasing this now. In previous studies we know capacitance of a spherical capacitor, radius is r, its charge is q, and potential delta V is V, then capacitance is q by V, and that's equals to 4 pi epsilon naught r in farad. Okay, capacitance is 4 pi epsilon naught r, and as we have discussed, charge is, capacitance is independent of charge and independent of potential difference, but capacitance directly depends upon radius, means capacitance depends upon C, depends upon surface area. Larger the radius, more is surface area, and vice versa. So capacitance depends upon dimension of the body or radius of the sphere or total surface area. More the surface area, more is the capacity to hold charge. This is the thought. But we have discussed, suppose capacitance required is 1 microfarad, means 10 to the power minus 6 farad, then radius required is 9 kilometer. Second case, if capacitance required is 1 farad, similarly radius will be 9 into 10 to the power 9 meter. This is more than radius of earth. This is more than radius of earth. Okay. Of course, if we are taking capacitance of earth, taking radius of earth 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 meter, capacitance of earth is approximately 711 into 10 to the power minus 6 farad. These are our previous discussion. What is conclusion? A single conductor, maybe spherical, maybe a square shaped plate, or maybe a rectangular shaped plate, whatever may be, a single conductor requires a large space. See, radius of earth is so long, 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 meter, so longer radius, means surface area of earth is so larger. Okay, so but capacitance of earth is too small, comes in microfarad. So it's our conclusion. A single conductor requires a large space. A single conductor requires a large space but gives small capacitance. For 9 kilometer radius, capacitance is 10 to the power minus 6 farad. For 9 into 10 to the power 9 meter, more than radius of earth, we get capacitance is only 1 farad. Okay, but capacitance means capacity or ability to hold charge or to hold more electric energy. So single conductor is not used in electrical or in electronics instrument for which we do think about parallel plate capacitor. Okay, so now charge is given to this plate. Let charge is 2000 coulomb, potential developed is 200 volt, and capacitance C1 becomes 10 farad. Because of course we have now discussed a single conductor can't be used as a capacitor. It requires a large area, large surface area, and gives small capacitance. Capacitance is 10 farad. But charge is 2000 coulomb and potential difference, initial potential is 0, initial charge is 0, initial potential is 0. Okay. Then potential difference is V1, which is 200 volt. Okay. So now capacitance is 10 farad. Just think. Let's place another parallel plate, another plate parallel, kept parallel to the charge plate, okay. In a very small distance, let this distance is D. D is very small. We'll discuss why D is taken as very small, we'll discuss. Let A is surface area of each plate. A is surface area of each plate. See, this is the plate and this is the surface area. This is the plate, this is the surface area. Okay. Let another plate of equal surface area is kept parallel to this charge plate, and let this plate is earthed. This is earthed. Okay. An uncharged earthed plate is placed nearer to a charged plate. An uncharged earthed plate is placed nearer to the charged plate. Then what will happen? You know it. Electric charging, the processes of charging, friction, conduction, induction. Okay. So if a neutral or uncharged earthed plate is placed, suppose initially it is not earthed. If a uncharged conductor is kept nearer to a charged conductor, then opposite charge will develop at the near end of the conductor and similar charge will develop at the far end of the conductor. Okay. This opposite charge is called as bound induced charge, and this charge means similar charge. This is positive, it's called as free induced charge. Okay. Free induced charge, and as we know, this relation I have given it, this is Q and this is Q. This charge is minus Q. Okay. If it is now earthed, this is free charge. So this side is positive, charge is positive. Earth is at zero potential. Anybody in connection to earth also attains zero potential. We have discussed all these concepts in the beginning of electric potential, and I would like to advise again and again you, my dear children, go through the previous lectures and come to this. You will clear your fundamental 100%. Okay. So, earth is always neutral or uncharged or at zero potential. Anybody in connection to earth also becomes zero potential or uncharged. So this charge is free charge because these negative charges are attracted by these positive charges, but these positive charges are repelled by these positive charges. Actually charge is given to this plate. So this positive charge repels it. So if it is earthed, if this is positive, these charges are positive, then equal quantum of electrons, equal number of electrons So this total positive charge, let Q plus Q is equal to Ne, then N number of electrons will move from Earth to the surface and neutralize these positive charges. Neutralize these positive charges. So free induced charge will vanish. Okay, free induced charge will vanish if this is Earth. Now remaining charges are negative. So this Q is called as inducing charge. Inducing charge. Okay. This Q is called as induced charge. Induced charge. See. So potential, suppose I am taking a point charge Q, distances R, potential is KQ by R, as we know. Potential is KQ by R, here distance is D. Now, potential on this surface is 200 volt. Okay, but we know this is induced charge, bound induced charge, this is induced charge, Q. Then relation between induced charge and inducing charge, this is inducing charge. As you know, inducing charge we have discussed in induction. Q is equal to minus Q into 1 minus 1 by epsilon R. Epsilon R is relative permittivity, okay, or dielectric constant or specific inductive capacity for metals. For metals, epsilon R is infinity. Okay, so if it is infinity, then Q is equal to minus Q. So for metals, inducing charge is equal to induced charge, but for insulators, induced charge is less than inducing charge. So now this total charge is minus Q. Okay, see. Now we will come to our previous discussion. You know it, magnitude of inducing charge is equal to magnitude of induced charge in case of metals. So potential due to this positive charge is now 200 volt. Potential, we will discuss all these concepts. Potential due to this positive charge is 200 volt. Now induced charge is minus Q, distance is D. Then due to this negative charge, let potential on this surface becomes V2. V2 is let this is distance, as we have discussed, potential is equal to Q by R. This is negative, so potential is negative. So due to this negative charge, potential is negative, means minus V2. Let now potential is let 50 volt. Let, because potential inversely proportional to distance. So distance is D. Due to this distance, potential will be less than the potential on the surface. See, I am discussing the concept from the beginning. This is very important concept. You see, this is a metallic plate. This is a metallic plate. Charge given to the plate is positive. Okay, this is positive. Of course, in this side also positive, but this charge will, whole charge will be accumulated on this surface after induction. This is an uncharged. This is an uncharged metallic plate. Initial condition Q. Let Q1. Let's take this is Q. Q is 2000 coulomb, and potential on this surface is, potential difference of course is 200 volt. This is initial condition. Now an earthed metallic conductor is placed nearer to the charged conductor. Distance is D. A is surface area of each plate. Now the free induced charge vanished. This is bound induced charge, and this charge will minus Q. For metals, inducing charge is equal to induced charge. This charge is minus Q. So due to this negative charge, potential, initial potential on this surface is V1, which is 200 volt. Due to this negative charge, let potential is minus V2. Let V2 or minus V2 is minus 50 volt. Now, what is the resulting potential? Potential is scalar quantity, 200 volt minus 50 volt. Resulting potential becomes 150 volt. This is the concept. So, suppose this is a conductor, charge is given to the conductor, charge is given to the conductor, let charge is Q, potential difference is V, or initial potential 0, final potential V, potential difference is V. Okay, then its capacitance is Q by delta V. So, a body can take some amount of charge till its potential becomes maximum. So, if potential or potential difference is maximum, which is called as breakdown potential, then we can't give any further amount of charge to the body, because as we have discussed, the surrounding medium will get polarized. This is air particle in contact with the body, this will get first polarized, and finally this negative charge will be displaced to the surface of the positively charged body. So it will neutralize the positive charges. So we can't give any desired amount of charge to a body, as we have discussed in previous lectures. Okay. So we can't give any desired amount of charge to a body. What is the main opposition? Main opposition is potential or potential difference, because if the charge is given continuously, potential will go on increasing and will reach its breakdown value, maximum potential, beyond which we can't give any further amount of charge. If you give some further amount of charge, then it will get neutralized by the surrounding medium, means charge will leak. Charge will leak, means the body will discharge. So, the main opposition to give more charge is potential. Main opposition to give charge is potential. We can't give any desired amount of charge. As we have discussed, we can't give any desired amount of heat to a body, because the body will attain its melting temperature. Here the body will attain its breakdown voltage. So to give more charge, since capacitance is Q by V, this is potential difference, to give more charge, the condition is if we can decrease the potential, if we can decrease the potential, then more charge can be given, or we may say more energy can be stored. So, if we decrease the potential, then more charge can be given. So, more the charge means more is electric energy, so more energy can be stored. So the basic thought is to decrease its potential. See, initial potential is 200 volt. If an uncharged earthed conductor is placed nearer to the charged conductor, then due to this bound induced charge, let potential is minus 50 volt and resulting potential is 150 volt. So 150 volt is less than 200 volt. Thus, by keeping an uncharged earthed conductor, potential of the charged conductor is decreased. So now we can give more charge to the charged conductor. More charge can be given, thus capacitance of the system will increase. This is principle of parallel plate capacitor. So when the bound induced charge develops, then there will be no charge at this side. Whole charge will get accumulated on the inner surface only. This is total charge plus Q, this is total charge minus Q. Okay. Finally, you can represent like this in very simpler form, parallel plate capacitor. This is a charged plate, this total charge is plus Q, this is uncharged plate, kept near to the charged plate, total charge on this means on the inner side will be minus Q. Okay. So, what is principle of parallel plate capacitor? Okay. This is the principle. If an uncharged earthed plate, earthed metallic plate, earthed metallic plate. Earthed metallic plate is placed near a charged plate, near a charged plate, then potential of charged plate decreases and capacitance of the system increases. See, of the system, this is not now a single conductor. This is a system of conductors. So capacitance of the system increases. This is principle. If an uncharged or third conductor is placed nearer a charged conductor, then potential of charged conductor decreases and capacitance of the system increases. Okay, just note down it. Okay, just note down it. Okay, so this is principle of parallel plate capacitor. In the presence of uncharged or third plate, potential of charged plate decreases and potential of the system increases. Okay, this is principle of parallel plate capacitor. Okay, now in this lecture we will find capacitance of a parallel plate capacitors. Capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. Okay. See, now our previous diagram. So how we will give charge to the capacitor, how charge is given, we will discuss it in future lecture. Okay, charging and discharging of capacitor. In simpler way, charge is given like this. These are two metallic plates, both are uncharged, connected to positive and negative terminals of a cell or battery. This is positive, this is negative. Okay, and of course any electrical instruments are earthed in, of course, in our household system, electrification system, we are using earthing. Okay, so this is neutral, so this is connected to positive terminal of a battery, then electrons will get removed from this plate and accordingly this plate will become positively charged and this will become negatively charged. Electron will flow in the circuit. Electron will flow in the circuit. So electrons are detached from this uncharged plate. So this will become positively charged and electrons get added, or by induction this is added. Okay. Parallel plate capacitor, capacitance of parallel plate capacitor. This is a metallic plate, this is a metallic plate. Distance between them is D. Okay. A is surface area of each plate. Surface area of each plate. Let charge is plus Q, charge is minus Q. Total positive charge is accumulated on the inner face. Total negative charge is accumulated on the inner face, and this is earthed. So D is separation between the plates. So here another consideration, that D is means distance or separation between the plates. D is very small and A, surface area of each plate, is very large. Means we may write infinitely large. Infinitely large means D is very, very small as compared to surface area. See, suppose you are standing in front of a large wall. its height is too high. If we look up, then we can see the top of the wall. Then on both sides, if we look to the both sides, we can't see the edge of wall. Means as compared to our size, the size or dimension of wall is too larger. That will say it infinity. Will say it infinity. Suppose you think a small insect is standing in front of this whiteboard. A small insect is standing in front of this wall. Then this wall appears to it is very large or infinity. Okay, so infinity, infinitely larger, means distance between the plates is very, very small as compared to surface area of each plate. This is our consideration. Okay, so I think you have taken these points. A is surface area of each plate, B is separation between the plates, and A is very large, D is very small. Okay, then electric field exists in between the opposite charges. An uniform electric field, we may imagine an uniform electric field. Let electric field is E, and charge density, let sigma, this is positive, here charge density is sigma, negative. See, this plus Q is equal to, this is minus Q for metals. Magnitude of bound induced charge is equal to magnitude of inducing charge. So charge density, sigma is equal to charge upon area. So simply we may write charge is Q, area is A. So charge density is positive for positive charge, charge density is negative for negative charge. Okay, so this is positive charge, this is negative charge. So what is the net charge, resulting charge of a parallel plate capacitor? Our answer is Q, not 0. Of course, algebraically you may say algebraic sum of charges is 0, but I may write charge on a parallel plate capacitor is Q. Charge on a parallel plate capacitor is Q, which is given. This is given. This charge is Q. Charge on parallel plate capacitor is charge given to the plate. But algebraic sum of charges is 0, we may say like that. Okay. This charge is not given. This is not given. This is induced charge. Total charge or charge on a parallel plate capacitor is Q, but algebraic sum of charges is 0. You may say like that, but charge, given charge is charge on the capacitor, this is Q. Okay. Then, as we know, electric field due to a conducting infinitely larger area plate. So, electric field due to infinitely large plate. You know, the formula for electric field is sigma, means charge density upon epsilon 0 C. This is positive charge, electric field is away from positive charge. Let this electric field is E1 and this is sigma upon epsilon naught. This is negative. Electric field is towards negative. Let this electric field is E2. This is also sigma by epsilon naught. So we are not taking negative because we have shown it in direction. Okay. Then total electric field is E1 plus E2. Since electric fields, of course, this is plus sigma, this is minus sigma. It's right. This is plus Q, this is minus Q. This is right. But while considering electric field, no need to take sign because the electric field is vector and it has its own direction. So total electric field is sigma upon epsilon naught. Sorry, 2 epsilon naught. Sorry. Sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. Sigma upon 2 epsilon naught for conductors, 2 epsilon naught. Okay. For non-conducting metallics, it's sigma by epsilon naught. Okay. This is sigma by 2 epsilon naught plus sigma by 2 epsilon naught, and resulting electric field is sigma by epsilon naught. Okay, this is electric field between the two oppositely charged plates. Due to positive charge, electric field is away from positive. Due to negative charge, electric field is towards positive. These two field intensities are in same direction, so magnitude of resultant electric field is sigma upon epsilon naught. Okay, then where there is electric field, there is potential difference. This is plus Q, potential is V1 positive, this is minus Q, potential is V2. Okay, so difference in potential let V. Okay, and as you know, electric field is delta V by delta R in magnitude, no need to take negative. So magnitude of electric field is delta V divided by distance is D, then delta V is E into D. Delta V is E into D. Then delta V E, electric field is found to be sigma upon epsilon naught into D. Then capacitance is charge upon potential difference. This is delta V. Charge upon potential difference, then charge is Q. Potential difference is sigma D divided by epsilon naught, and finally we get capacitance is Q epsilon naught divided by sigma into D. Okay, then sigma is charge density. Sigma is charge density. Charge density is charge upon area. Okay, so here charge Q, area is A. Now capacitance is Q epsilon naught, Q into epsilon divided by sigma. In place of charge density we can write Q by A. In place of charge density we can write Q by A into D. Okay, Q get cancelled, then capacitance is epsilon naught A divided by D. Of course, we are using here air or vacuum. Okay, this is our result for final capacitance. See it, electric field is delta V by delta R. Here distance is D, electric field is delta V by D. Again potential difference delta V is E into D. Again electric field, resulting electric field is sigma upon epsilon naught into D. So capacitance is Q upon potential difference. Okay, charge required per unit rise in potential. Capacitance is charge upon unit rise in potential. So Q divided by delta V. In place of delta V, put this sigma D divided by epsilon naught. Then it comes Q into epsilon naught divided by sigma D. Then charge density is charge per unit area, charge by area. So in place of sigma, let's put Q by A. Q get cancelled, then final formula is C is equal to epsilon naught A by D. Then capacitance of parallel plate capacitor is epsilon naught A by D in vacuum or air between the plates. Okay. Then capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor, capacitance of a capacitor C is independent of charge and potential difference. See, there is no relation of charge and potential with capacitance. So capacitance is independent of charge and potential. Second point, capacitance directly proportional to surface area of the plate. See, charge is given to this plate. So larger the surface area, more is the capacity to hold charge. So capacity or capacitance directly proportional to surface area. Okay. Then capacitance inversely proportional to separation between the plates. Okay, of course we may write capacitance depends upon nature of medium. See, epsilon naught is relative permittivity of air or vacuum. Capacitance depends upon it. So, capacitance depends upon nature of medium. This is about parallel plate capacitor. Then some points. See, this is our formula. These are the points. If a square plate of each side L is used. If square plates of each side L is used, then capacitance is epsilon naught area. For a square plate, you may take two plates. This is a square plate. This is a square plate. Okay. This is a square plate. This is L. This is L. This is L. This is L. So separation between them is D. Okay. Then we may write epsilon into area is L into L square divided by D. Okay. If we use rectangular plates. Okay, I am erasing this now. Square plate. Rectangular plate, I am writing the dimension. This is L. Rectangular plates like this. This is a rectangular plate. This is a rectangular plate. Okay. Length is L, breadth is B, length is L, breadth is B, distance between them is D. Then capacitance is epsilon naught A. Area is length into breadth divided by D. D is the distance between the two plates. Okay. This is positively charged, this is negatively charged. Okay. If you use the rectangular plate, then in place of area, put length into breadth. Okay. Now let's consider two circular plates. Any shape we can use. This is a circular plate. This is a circular plate. Distance between them is D. This is positive. This is negative. Let radius of each circular plate is R. Then capacitance is epsilon naught into area. Area is pi R square divided by D. Okay. So this is about capacitance of parallel plate capacitor with air or vacuum in between the plates. Okay. In next lecture, in lecture number 16, we will discuss capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor with dielectric medium. Capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor with dielectric medium. Okay. See you. Thank you. Thanks for your support.